Welcome to the Let's Get Wild Challenge. And we have had a great week, and we're going to just recap all the challenges to make sure that you can track which challenge you have picked for each day. And I am excited to invite Terry to come and go over our reconnection with ourselves, our community, and the natural world. Remember, each day brings new opportunities for growth, connection, and positive change, which we all need in this world. So, thank you very much, Terry.
Awesome. Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure to be part of this Let's Get Wild challenge with the Natural Health Collaborative. So thank you, Cindy, and everybody who joined us. Day one was about gratitude and joy. And so you had three choices. Reminder for you that challenge number one was to give yourself mirror hug and affirmation every morning. So look at yourself in the mirror, give yourself a loving hug, and smile, and repeat your favorite affirmation. Maybe it's, I'm a magnet for abundance, blessings, joys, and miracles. And then the second challenge opportunity was to reach out for one joyful connection. So reach out to one person today with a message of appreciation, encouragement, or just simply kindness. This can be a text message, a voice note, call, or in-person moment. Tell them one thing you genuinely admire or appreciate about them. And your third opportunity is to start a gratitude journal. So at the end of the day, journal three things that you're grateful for that day. And the next day, maybe three new things, and so on. Remember, it's important to each night, it must be something new. Don't repeat the gratitudes from the previous days.
That is wonderful. So, I would say if I was going to choose one, because I already do the gratitude one and I already do the mirror one. So guess which one I'm doing?
The middle
It,
one.
it's a joyful. I try to do that every day, but I don't actually do it. So I realize that that is something. Now, Terry, what one did you pick?
The same one, the joyful connection one, because that makes me happy too when I reach out to people.
Yeah. So, Patrice, which one did you pick?
I would go with the mirror one because I haven't done that, and I already start my morning meditation is that that bringing joy and living in joy. So that's kind of covered a little bit, but I think I'll give myself some self hugs and
Yay.
affirmations in the mirror.
And what about Marisol? What are you going to?
So I did it yesterday. I approached my 17-year-old and asked her to find a song that she would love when she was little by the Backyardigans. I don't know if you remember, Terry. Long time ago, the Backyardigans, they had all the soundtrack and all the music was really, really good. So she put it there in YouTube and then we both start singing together and we were holding hands and it was such a magical moment because she's a big girl now, right? But we were able to celebrate that little piece of joy, remembering back those moments. And then I just went for that, right? Didn't have any expectation, but we hugged each other and it was nice. And then as I was leaving, I'm like, I mentioned that I needed to go grocery shopping, and she's like, "Mom, can I come with you?" That was a big win. So I let her drive the car because she's learning, and we had a wonderful experience.
That's fantastic. And Cindy.
I guess the one I would be choosing would be the joyful connection, just because there's so much connection lacking in today's world. It's just another step in the right direction to bring more of that into our daily life. So I like that one. I like them all, but that's the one that just seems to resonate right now.
Yeah. Well, fantastic. And I am going to ask Patrice to go over her day. And that was day 2, and there were some fantastic challenges. So, take it
Yeah.
away.
We had 3 different challenges, 3 different people are bringing it to us. And the first one, I led off with our nature retreat challenge that had the uh, 7 different steps, but I'd like to just share a little video that contained all those steps so you can get a brief glance and start taking it in here, and then we'll go on to the next 2 challenges, uh, which were eat local for a day and the believe it or not, I care 12 and 12 I care day challenge. So I will share this video here. Share sound. And here's Nature Retreat Challenge. Nature Retreat Challenge. Our objective: to discover the healing power of nature, cultivate a deep connection to the natural world, and move from simply visiting nature to truly belonging to it. Steps to participate. 1. Schedule nature retreat time. Choose a specific day and time each day for the next week to immerse yourself in nature. This can be early in the morning before work, during your lunch break, or in the evening after a busy day. Step 2. Choose a natural setting. Find a nearby park, nature reserve, beach, forest, or any other outdoor space that brings you a sense of peace and tranquility. Make sure it's a place where you can connect with nature and escape from the stresses of daily life. Step 3. Disconnect from technology. Leave your phone, tablet, and other devices behind to fully immerse yourself in the natural surroundings. Allow yourself to be present in the moment and focus on the sights, sounds, and sensations of the outdoors. Step 4. Engage in mindful activities. Take a leisurely walk, practice yoga or meditation, sit and journal, read a book, or simply sit in silence and observe the beauty of nature all around you. Allow yourself to relax and let go of any stress or worries. Step 5. Reflect on your experience. After each nature retreat session, take a few moments to reflect on how you felt before and after spending time in nature. Notice any changes in your mood, stress levels, and overall well-being. Consider incorporating more nature retreat time into your daily routines. Cultivate a deep connection. During your nature retreat sessions, focus on cultivating a deep connection to the natural world. Practice gratitude for the gifts of nature. Engage in activities that promote mindfulness and connection, and reflect on the interconnectedness of all living beings. Move from visiting to belonging. As you continue to spend time in nature and cultivate a deeper connection, reflect on how you can move from simply visiting nature to truly belonging to it. Consider ways you can honor and respect the land, support environmental conservation efforts, and integrate nature-based practices into your daily life. A bonus, invite friends, family, or coworkers to join you for a nature retreat session and share in the experience of finding peace and tranquility in nature. Encourage them to reflect on their own connection to the natural world and how they can deepen their relationship with nature. By participating in this challenge, you are embracing the power of nature to help you find relief from stress, overwhelm, and the demands of daily life, while also moving towards a deeper sense of belonging and connection to the natural world. Let's come together to prioritize self-care, well-being, and a harmonious relationship with the environment.
Well, that was wonderful. I think that people are part of the biosphere, so they got to recognize that they already belong.
Yeah, yeah, that you are. It's just like get that recognition in there. And that was just the one part. Then we moved on to the Eat Local for a Day challenge, which had 5 different steps. I'll just review them. So the idea is to raise the awareness about the benefits of eating locally sourced food, support local farmers and businesses. And so the first step, identify local sources. Second was to plan your meals. Third, shop for those ingredients. 4, prepare and enjoy your meals. And then 5, reflect on your experience. And I would hope people would go back and watch the replays because we shared, Elizabeth was wonderful of how you can do the research and find out for what's available for you locally. And there was lots of different tips on that ways and how to not really sweat it. It's not about being perfect, it's about building that awareness. And it really does make a difference in your life and your community with that. And then the third challenge was the Believe It or Not, I Care Day challenge. And this we can still carry on with this because it's the 12 and 12 I Care Day. And this challenge came about because of Sandy Austin. She had started the Bionic team with the youth, the kids. And it's like Bionic stands for Believe It or Not, I Care. And it's all about creating that caring culture. So with the kids, they were taught to, reach out to those that were new to the community, those that were sick, or those that had lost a loved one. And so it's about doing that outreach to your community, outreach to the kids. And when the kids, they were working this in the school and they found it was working so good in the school and helping to initiate those contacts and reaching out. So they wanted to let's move this out, to our homes and to our communities and workplaces. So that's where it started out as 10/10 Eye Care Day came about. But then it was like, well, why do we have to restrict it to October? Why not do it every month and then it became like the 12/12 Eye Care Day. So on December the 12th, so mark this down and I would encourage everybody, let's do this. December the 12th is just coming up. So on December the 12th, you do 12 outreaches. So that's one at every hour for the 12 hours there. And it can be simple things like, putting a candy kiss or some little note on your family members' pillows so that they know you're thinking of them. Bringing a flower to the secretary or whatever, going and visiting the fire departments and bringing them some goodies and just tell them that you appreciate what they're doing. But get creative. Sandy did share a checklist for things you can do for ideas. And on the replay, there was ideas for how you can do that outreach. But it's really all about creating that culture of caring. And I know it goes a long way, and we can sure use some more of that. And with that, that wrapped up day 2.
So, Patrice, what are you going to be doing?
I'm doing 12-12. I care day. I'm going to do it.
Maricel.
I love the idea of leaving little notes in the pillow. So I'll do that for my kids.
Cindy?
That's a hard choice. It's all great. I can't say eat locally because I do that already. Um, but I do have a tip for anyone who's wanting to eat locally and not really sure where to start finding the farmers markets and stuff here in the United States. There is a website, it's called localharvest.org. And you can put in your zip code and it'll tell you the local farmers markets. And if there's none near you, it'll actually give you a list of farmers that will ship as well. So I know it's not local, but if you're somewhere that farmers markets just aren't available, there's some that could possibly be in the same state that will ship to you. So you at least have that opportunity instead of always supporting the big box grocery stores. But I guess I'll try the 12-12. It'll get me out of the house more. And we do, as Patrice said, we need more caring in the world. And it's a great feeling when you bring a smile to someone's face. So I'm going to give that one a try.
Terry?
And I'm also going to do the 12-12. I put it on my calendar, just like you said, Patrice. So, and I love that idea. I mean, those are just great things to do. Like little things can just mean so much to people. So, very good.
So, since I'm really into nature retreats, and I always have been, I can't really do that one. And I really try to do local. And I do have some things that are shipped, so I'm not sure. So I am actually going to try that one, but I got to do 12-12. I was so impressed that Sandy, out of Columbine, one of the terrible school shootings, she was a therapist and she wanted to do something. And she realized that there was bullying going on and all sorts of other problems. So she said, I'm going to do something. And 21 years later, she's still doing it. So we'll have information in the notes, and we'll make sure that people can not only eat local, and they're actually not just for finding food, but you can find where your natural spaces are for you to go out and see. So there's so much that makes it easier because we can do a lot of research on the web. And I'm really excited by day 2. So thank you so much, Patrice. And now I'm going to ask Cindy to talk about day 3.
All right. So day 3, we focused on wellness and mindfulness focus. The 3 challenges included a 10-minute stress relief routine, which is a workbook that can be downloaded. But basically, it takes you through a breathing exercise for a few minutes, which then brings you into a humming/breathing exercise. And if you have sound equipment, then you can integrate that into that. Um, and then it moves into a body scan to see if, if there's if you've noticed any shifts in your energy and stuff. There was also a meditation challenge where you can explore different meditation techniques and look for ways that can integrate mindfulness into your daily practice. I think we emphasize the fact that you don't have to do it for hours on end. You can simply start with 5 minutes here and there um, just tap into how you're feeling, and it's another great stress reliever. And then there was also a sleep improvement challenge, and that also was a document that could be downloaded with a checklist that gives you tips on how to optimize your sleeping environment, among other things. So it was a really great day to talk about stress relief and improve sleeping habits for further stress relief and allowing the body to rest, reset, and rejuvenate.
Wow, those are really important, especially around the holidays, right? We need to rest and rejuvenate every day. But, you know, so Cindy, what did you decide that you were going to do?
Um, well, gosh, I do most of them already. Must have been why that was my day, right? Um, but you know what? I could still do more in the 10-minute stress relief routine. That would be probably it'd be good for me to integrate that more, a little bit more into my day than I do it. Build in more consistency. Let's say that.
That's great. And Patrice, what did you decide to do from that day?
I'm gonna do the improve your sleep. I do, but I sleep pretty good, but I know I could use some more tips for even better sleep and relaxation.
And Marisol.
Yeah, thank you, Cindy. Yeah, I already started the sleep challenge. And because I use a sleep tracker, I am paying attention to the deep sleep stage, which is the one that is associated with rejuvenation, restoration of your brain, and good stuff. So I I'm from Argentina, and it's a cultural thing to drink yerba mate every morning. And one day I was like, well, I have to be in fasting mode because I had a recent lab work done. So I didn't have my mate that morning. And guess what happened? I checked the sleep score that the following day, and it was excellent, perfect score. I'm like, So now my challenge was to do it every other day. And consistently, I'm seeing instead of my usual 1.5, 1:45, it's more than 2 hours. So whenever I don't have my drink in the morning, that night I have more than 2 hours of deep sleep stage, which is huge. So I'm in the process of experimenting and not get rid of it completely, but dilute it more in my week. So I guess my message is try things and pay attention to your health tracker, especially with sleep, and see what is impacting your sleep that you didn't know. It could be alcohol, it could be coffee later, right? Like I don't metabolize very well caffeine. So pay attention to that. There are people genetically prone to do that better. So you can afford to have caffeine drinks later during the day. But sometimes people like me don't. So pay attention to the habits, the things that you may be doing, and track how, if you don't have a tracker, track how you feel when you wake up. If you feel like, oh, I need more time to sleep, or I'm like, can't wait to start my day, right? So those are very important hints to track the habits that are impacting your sleep.
Fantastic. And Terry, what are you going to be doing?
Okay. I'm also going to do the sleep challenge because I've been talking a lot about sleep in my presentations to folks, and I thought, I might as well incorporate something with them as they're making changes, right? So one of the things that I know for myself I've been inconsistent since the time change. I've been inconsistent with going to bed at the same time. I've been going to bed sometimes at 8:30 at night and sometimes at 10:30. So I need to set myself, redirect that. I'm gonna shoot my bedtime for 9:30 every night. So, because I tend to be an early morning riser, so that'll give me at least opportunity to get 8 hours of sleep every night. And that's the best thing you can do with it to for your bedtime is to make sure you go to bed at the same time every day, wake up at the same time every morning. That's my goal. So that's what I'll be working on.
Well, I'm gonna try the, 10-minute change, simply because, I have a really standard operating procedure that I've perfected over years so I can live pain-free. But I'm willing to say, let's see, if I can do this 4-part thing in increments and really add that into my, usual practices, and hopefully that will also make me better to sleep at night, because I believe that we actually start the day with actually sleeping. So I'm a little backwards that way, but, I also think that the sleep challenge is something that I can incorporate. Now, I know I'm not supposed to do 2, but what can I say? This is a day that really said, "Okay, I'm gonna try them all." So, now I'm gonna ask Terry if she.
Okay, sure. So Thursday challenge was to have practical tips for kids and a healthier planet. So first challenge opportunity was to create a healthier bedroom sanctuary. And the goal is to reduce toxins and nighttime exposure to get better sleep and recovery for our kids. And some of the action steps include to turn off all the electronics at night and use a designated um, lidded laundry basket to contain the dirty chemical carrying clothes. And so um, after that, we talked about the other opportunity was to bring your own bag whenever you go shopping somewhere, to bring a canvas bag. So, and the goal here is just to reduce plastic waste and teach mindful purchasing habits as we go. Can you imagine the difference that could make if everybody would just bring their own bag to the grocery store or to whatever store you're going to? And then um, also keep those reusable bags accessible and make it a game, a family game with points and rewards for actually remembering. So you can have a lot of fun with this technique of, with your child and actually make a art project out of the bag for them and then they will be having more buy-in to bringing that bag to the stores, right? And then the third option for the challenge was to replace one toxic household item. And this is to show kids that small choices benefit their body and the planet. So just choose one swap. I talked about a number of things. Actually, Teresa Thomas and I both did. Teresa Thomas, she is the author of From Toxic to Green. So her and I talked extensively about various things you can do in the home. And one of the things was to replace your laundry detergent with these eco sheets, and 60 of them come usually in a small package, paper package, rather than buying a huge jug of laundry detergent because we know that not all plastics gets recycled. And then the second option was to make your own toothpaste because it's a very simple thing to do. There's so many great recipes, out there on your toothpaste. And can you imagine if everybody would just make their own toothpaste with you just use a little coconut oil, baking soda, hydrogen peroxide, and maybe a little bit of peppermint extract, and you have yourself a nice little toothpaste. And uh, you're saving so much money too, because toothpaste is expensive, and those things we learn take about 500 years to disintegrate. To a tube of tooth, after you've used the toothpaste from there. So then the third thing was to, instead of buying the dryer sheets, um, get one of those wool balls. Actually, I use three of them every time I dry my clothes in the dryer, and pleasantly surprised I am that I do not get any static when I do the wash with those. So those are the three options. And for myself, I am I already do the bag. So I am going to do the first one, which is to get the electronics out of my bedroom, because that'll be a great thing for me to be consistent with my sleep goal too.
Fantastic. And Teresa, what challenge are you going to be doing for the day?
Oh, I'm going to be getting the bamboo toothbrush and making my toothpaste. But I just wanted to say I just came back from the store because this is something Terry and I have been talking about. Well, guess what? The Nature Clean people, instead of their jugs, they have two piles. One of the stink resistant one, or it's called stain resistant. Yeah, not stink resistant, stain resistant sheets, and another pile of the laundry sheets. So there must be about 20 or 30 cardboard things there. And we figured out yesterday that one of those things, or three of those things, equal one jug, one plastic jug. So isn't that great? And so they've got this section on the shelf, and it's all paper and disintegrating soap, however, dissolving soap. So I really was excited to see that today.
Fantastic. And Patrice, which one are you going to be picking up?
My sleep sanctuary. I'm gonna work on that. Again, back to that theme of better sleep.
Mhm. And Cindy.
I'm gonna make my own toothpaste. I make other things myself, so that's a seems like a logical choice to continue on with making my own stuff. So yep, that's the one I'm gonna try.
Fantastic. And Marisol.
Yeah, I'm doing almost everything. The only thing that I'm curious is, I think, Cindy, you mentioned you do your own lotion, and I'll be curious about your recipe because I don't know what carrier to use. So that'd be my challenge to get a, because yeah, because I play a lot with natural ingredients and adding essential oils, and play with combination of different scents. And I have everything for the house, for body and things like that. But I don't have a good. I couldn't make my own lotion. And I remember you shared that you love yours. So if you don't
Yeah.
mind to share your recipe, I'll be very grateful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really simple. I actually make it into a whipped
Yeah.
um,
Just good.
body lotion. And I can't tell you the ratios on essential oils because I just kind of go with whatever feels good at that moment. But basically it's equal parts of shea butter, coconut oil, um, and I use mango, oh my gosh, it's been a while. Or you can use cocoa butter too. Mango butter, I guess, is the one. And then you melt all those together in a double boiler. So I start with like a third of a cup of each. It depends on how much you want to make at one time. Um, and then when those are done melting, you pull it off the heat, and then you can add in something like a jojoba oil, or one of the liquid oils. And then after then you put it in the refrigerator so it sets a little bit, and then you just whip it up, and that's when you can add your essential oils at that point, whenever you're ready to put those in. but it doesn't really take that long to melt. And yeah, you can have it done in a relatively short amount of time. So yeah,
Thank you.
and it's easy. It's really easy.
And it's fun to experiment with different essential oils and things like that, depending on the time of year and everything. So I think
I
you're going
like
to have
putting
a lot of fun with
frankincense in it because that's good for your skin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So and myrrh, but myrrh, if you let it sit around, I mean, you might have experience with this. I know I found that when I let that sit around a little bit too long, it hardens for some reason. But I use lavender oil as a good one, and then I love a lemon balm. So yeah, I just mix and match, but I always put in the frankincense.
That's very healing.
Yep.
Excellent. So I'm really happy that we had so many fantastic challenges. But what I know, it's a challenge to put them into your life and to actually say, oh, I'm going to make all of these. And we just did basically 4 days of saying, we've got lots of different choices. But if you imagine that we, over the space of basically a few months, we could totally change our lives. But I'm going to share the idea of unlocking lasting change. So this is kind of today's challenge, but I think that when we actually do small changes, consistent actions, right? We think that transformation, oh, I have to go, to a different area of the world. I have to do this massive effort and everything like that. But that's not really, you take yourself with you. There's no greener grass, right? It's the micro habits that seem insignificant, but they're the ones that create the powerful effects that really change your personal and professional growth. So, what are micro habits? Micro habits are tiny, manageable actions, and then you can move to a goal. So, you think a little, right? One little seed in the ground, and then you say, oh my goodness, I have a tree now. I have whatever you're basically growing, you're growing new habits in yourself, and then you can make them more sustainable. So instead of saying, I'm going to work an hour on exercise daily, okay? How many people get January 1st? What do they get? They get a gym membership, right? And I love to basically ask people in February, how many times have you gone to the gym? Inevitably, they go to the gym to get the membership and then they never go back. Right? I have a friend who's done this for a dozen years now, you know, and I'm like, well, try it next month. Right? So instead of saying, I'm going to meditate for 20 minutes, literally just take a deep breath. Notice your breathing, right? Just read one page instead of a whole chapter, right? Now, sometimes I start a book and I'm like, oh, I got to get to the end, so I kind of like do the whole thing. But I'm just saying it makes a difference if you start small. And what is amazing is science behind this. And believe it or not, I said professional life because people that are quote unquote high achievers, right? They have this down. They know by starting small, you lower the mental and emotional barriers, right? What is procrastination? That is a defense mechanism that you have. It's not a moral failing, all right? Your brain basically says if something is too hard to do, right? You're not going to be able to do it because it threatens your comfort zone. Remember, we basically live out of our unconscious because it's great. I mean, otherwise, we imagine if we had to learn to drive every day, we forgot, right? So you got to build momentum. And a tiny habit actually reinforces a sense of progress. And that's what's important. So let's rewire our brains for success. So you're creating new neural pathways, and it's small, repeatable actions that reinforce it. It's like you're in a rut going the same way, but the science behind it, and I'm sure that everyone here has read Atomic Habits by James Clear. So he basically is really someone who looked into how to create good habits for himself. So you have to think about it like water basically going over rocks, right? The Grand Canyon was created by water going through rocks. Those small actions make a difference, just like they would in the natural world. So the compound effect, right? You say day one, if you just do 1% a day, and you can add more and more habits over time. In 365 days, you're going to have 27%. That's a massive change. So people really underestimate what they can do in a year or 5 years just by having one simple compound effect. It's really it's like compound interest. So why not do it? So what I'm suggesting is just taking a bag to the store, right? Seems easy. But what do you have to do to make it easier? I take a backpack, right? Because I've kind of moved from the whole car thing. And what I have in the backpack are 2 bags, right? So whenever I'm out and about, if I say, "Oh my goodness, oh, that is something I really need to have," and almost always it's food. I love food shopping. But the thing is, I'm ready for it. So you have to make it easy. A lot of people say that they could go to the gym, but oh, I got to get dressed for the gym. I'm saying if you have your gym clothes out, you have your sneakers ready to go, right? It's going to be one less excuse. Or Terry suggested that you have the bag already in the car. Why not? Doesn't take up that much room. Throw in a couple, you know? And I remember as a young child, the first thing that I learned how to sew was a laundry bag. I was so excited. I was like, oh, I'm going to be able to put my laundry. I only had to go a few steps to put it into the rest of the laundry, but just to have my own bag. It was very exciting. So I'm saying that let's make this fun. Find ways to say, oh, I'm unlocking lasting change by starting small and you're anchoring it to something existing. So you probably brush your teeth every morning, right? What can you anchor to that? Or what are you doing while your tea or your coffee are brewing, right? Those are things that most people do automatically. Or maybe if you're from New England, you start out with apple cider vinegar, right? Whatever you're doing. And I know I'm going to ask Maricel to share one of her family's habit around garlic.
Sure. Yeah, I know you like this one. It's been a habit since I probably started dating my husband, which is 25 years ago or so. So, and this is kind of a tradition now in our family. It has a Rocha trademark. So this is funny. So we got married at a Little Flower, the Church of Little Flower in Miami. And we were spending, the reception and everything at the Biltmore Hotel. It was very fancy and super nice. And this is the night of the wedding, right? And I remember calling room service and asking for a head of garlic and a knife. Just married, right? And it was like scary because people were like, what are they gonna do with this, right? Is this kind of a banda thing, some kind of weird? No, we just enjoy having our little ritual where we would just peel a few cloves of garlic and chop it. Oh, I remember asking for 2 teaspoons. And fast forward a lot of years after that, we start having that with our family. Once the girls start being older enough, we'll have our dinner and then wait a little bit, and then, oh, it's garlic time. So while I would chop kiwi or orange or apple, whatever acidic fruit that takes the taste of garlic away, I'll have like a huge plate with fruit, and my husband would chop the garlic and we would load the teaspoon. So it's about half teaspoon, so equivalent to 1 clove of garlic. And then everybody would do it at the same time, like I would say like arriba, abajo, al centro y adentro. So a little thing, just to everybody do it at the same time. And then with a glass of water, you put the teaspoon of garlic. It has to be little though, because otherwise it will get stuck. And then you just drink a few sips of water, and then you eat the fruit to kind of, your mouth will forget the taste of the garlic. And then throughout the night, garlic goes to your bloodstream and clears every fungi, whatever infection, bacteria, virus that you may have. And especially with teenagers, it really helps with the acne. So, clear skin for us, is to stay healthy, because the kids go everywhere and then they bring germs. And also, it makes your blood thinner. So, it helps if you have high cholesterol, things like that. So anyway, it's a very traditional thing that we do consistently every single night.
So, and how long does that take you to do?
Minutes. You just need to get good at peeling garlic, which sometimes they sell a little thing that you can just roll the cloves inside, and then it's easier to peel. And then the chopping, just make sure that when you slice in the middle, you don't have the green part. Sometimes if it's not new, they start to germinate. They start having that green part. So just, gently take it out. Don't eat that part, and just chop the other. And it takes about 2-3 minutes to do it. I recommend also to let it breathe for a little bit, because that way that activates the allicin, which is a compound that you need more. So if you let it like 1 minute to breathe, and then you take it, that would be great.
So, this is a way that you can have a family ritual, right? Coming together, right? And you can also have a healthy life, because she already talked about some of the benefits. But garlic is the only herb and vegetable that is classified. So that is how important garlic has been to ourselves and our ancestors. So I know that a lot of cultures don't think that garlic is really good for you or whatever. And Italians in America were really like looked down upon because they smelt like garlic. But what I suggest is, if it isn't garlic, find out what is going to be good for you to regularly have in your diet. and make it fun, make it a ritual. So, what is amazing is you can unlock changes by really saying, okay, what is going to change my life, right? And you got to set it up and then scale naturally. So, the idea that you're going to, okay, eat locally, right? Bring a shopping bag, right? Can lead to, if you don't want to deal with 12 people on the 12th, you know, you don't have to do that. But it will start to scale up if you celebrate the wins that you've had. All right. So it's the power of pairing. So you're anchoring your new micro habits to existing routines. That's a habit stack. And you get rid of this idea of willpower. All right. Your current habits become triggers for the new behavior. So the consistency is almost automatic. So I want you to think about after I put in your existing habit, and then I will your new habit, and this increases your success rate dramatically. So think about this. After I pour my morning coffee, tea, water, whatever it might be, I will, and then the coffee becomes your cue. So this creates a habit loop, and they just stack right on top of each other. So clarity is power. And when you know exactly where you're going, every action becomes intentional and the momentum builds naturally. So when you get clear on your destination, so I want you to really think about what are you pointing towards? So I'm going to ask each person here to say what they got out of this challenge and adding those things and what they think their particular goal, right? What their maybe restoration is. So I am going to start with Terry.
Okay, so my goal is to focus on restoration, which is to, before I have my tea in the evening, I'm going to go and put my pajamas on. This way, I won't um, be so tired to put my pajamas on and maybe accidentally fall asleep on the couch in the evening, right? So I'm gonna do that. And then I will also make sure to have all the electronics out of my bedroom every evening, and that should be pretty easy thing to do. So when I go into my bedroom to put my pajamas on, before I have my chamomile tea in the evening, then I will make sure all electronics are out of there. Like I usually put my earbuds like on my nightstand, and that's gonna stop. So that'll be my cue to when I'm there to take care of that at the same time.
So that is exactly how you habit stack. You're doing things that you already do, you're just changing it up a little bit. And, the compounding effect really does make a difference. So, Patrice.
Regenerative too, and restoration, and focusing on the sleep. And I just loved what I got out of this summit is that, or this event, is that there's so many real simple things that you can do in your life, and it's those things that we're just not aware of. We just don't know. So I really appreciated people bringing this to us into our awareness. And so I'll start incorporating them more. And with regenerative sleep, I've got to get uh, we're on Wi-Fi through a satellite. And when I turn off my computer, I'll also go and switch off the power for the satellite for Wi-Fi, and it's gone. And when when I take my clothes off in the evening, well, I think I'll that might be, I won't feel like doing that. I was thinking that then I'll find a different place for the clothes hamper or whatever. And but I might want to find that place not in the evening, just before I go to bed. I'll start off with it. Just when I go take my clothes off and ready getting into bed, the first thing I'll do is that I'll move the hamper, and then it'll be, my clothes will be placed in probably in the bathroom instead of the bedroom. And yeah, those are the tips that I'll start incorporating and get more regenerative and restorative sleep.
Fantastic. So we actually have Sandy Austin here for a few minutes. I know she's been very busy with a school that had a terrible tragedy. So I would like her to talk a little bit about why she started these 1212 and how this is making such a big difference.
Thank you so much, Cindy. It's great to be with you guys. I'm sorry I can't be here the whole time, but I'm in the middle of this. Great to see you too, Patrice, and the rest of you. So anyway, I am the executive director of the Bionic team, which stands for Believe It or Not, I Care. And so what would happen is I'm a school counselor by profession. I have been involved with 5 school shootings now in the aftermath of counseling the kids and the staff and the families. And also 2 years after the initial shooting, I was a part of the Columbine school shooting tragedy, one of the most famous of all of them. So sad. 2 years later at my own school, we had 4 suicides in 8 months. And I thought, what's going on here? But as I counseled the kids at those schools, I heard that the kids that were friends of the guys, who are all males, who took their lives or shot up the schools, they had all heard something about their friends' plans to do those things, but they didn't say anything to the adults because they didn't want them to get mad at them or to break a confidence. And so I thought, we've got to empower these kids. And so 21 years ago, I started the school club called the Bionic Team. Again, Believe It or Not, I Care. And we reach out to kids that are new, sick, bullied, hospitalized, or lose loved ones to let them know they're seen, they matter, and they're not alone. And so we have them around the world now. And so kids have said, hey, Miss Austin, can we all come together on one day? Those schools in Taiwan, the schools in Belize, the schools in New York, in North Dakota, all over, can we do something in one day? See how much of a difference we can make in one day. And so we started 10-10 I Care Day, but this is later. And so some communities have 12-12 I Care Day. So that's what we're encouraging everyone to do here is on December 12th, is to do 12 things that day, one thing each hour for 12 hours to make a difference in 12 people's lives. So for the kids, we tell them, hey, you guys, when you wake up at 7 in the morning, call your grandma and tell her you love her. Then before you leave for school, put a piece of candy on the pillow of everyone in your family so that when they go to bed that night, they know that you were thinking about them. And then when you get to school, bring a flower for the secretary, and we tell them different ideas to do things all day long to be able to make a difference in 12 people's lives. Then at the end of the days in my school, schools, we always went to the police department and the fire department with a platter of cookies or platter of veggies, just to say thank you for the difference you're making in our community and the lives that you're saving. And then we tell the kids, okay, you guys, there's still like 3 hours left in the day of the 10 hours or 12 hours or whatever. We'd say, so when you go home, think of who else you can reach out to. When you go by the post office, stop by there and bring them flowers or something, just do something. Think of who else you can reach out to. That's where 1212 I Care Day came from. And that's what it's all about. So I'm excited for any of you that are interested in doing that. You can get our information about it on our at Gift from Sandy, Sandy, giftfromsandy.com, and it has lots of details. And on that sheet, it says 1010 I Care Day. But what's so exciting, you guys, is families are going, it was just amazing. The difference you make in schools that day, it is incredible. Everyone says, it just was a very positive place throughout the whole day, and it's just incredible. So we have families, we have schools, we have church groups, we have different people. Some people are doing that once a month now. On 1/1, on January 1st, they do one thing. On 2/2, February 2nd, they do two things, and then they build it up all the way to where it's 12/12. And so what I love is, with all this going on, when I'm waking up and it's 3/1, March 1st, I think, okay, 3/3 is coming up. What three things am I going to do on March 3rd? And so that's what's great, is it's always on our mind. What am I going to do? And we can start planning ahead. Okay, this time I'm going to write 3 cards to people. I'm going to send, so you can do different strategies during the year. But you guys, you get me talking about it and I don't stop. So I will be quiet now.
Well, what you're saying is do something and make it a habit.
Yes.
And, I think that's absolutely necessary to create community, collaboration, right? That
Yes.
we all need to feel that we're special, right? That we're
Yes.
cared about.
Mm.
And caring first is not a bad thing, right?
Right.
How do you keep friends?
Oh,
Because they know you care about them,
yes.
right?
Yes.
How do
Exactly.
you take care of people that basically are going through really great difficulties? I don't
Mm.
care if it's grief or some kind of trauma or whatever's happened, right? If you keep in touch with people, you know that, and you can be
Mm.
there for them.
Yes.
So, Sandy, thank you for coming and doing this great work and coming up with this. But if you touch one person, then they're likely going to touch somebody else,
Mm.
right? And
Yes.
we can set up great virus patterns,
Yes.
right? And you can do that with your own unlocking your lasting change.
Mm-hmm.
So we were asking everyone what from the challenge were they going to add in and anchor to something they already did.
Mm.
So I'm going to ask Cindy Terrell to share what she is doing in anchoring.
Well, I don't think you can do enough restoration. So even though I didn't choose the sleep challenge, what I'm going to do is habit stack the 10-minute breath and sound routine before I go to bed, because it's such a wonderful tool to help relax and reset the vagus nerve and bring you into a deep, it brings you into the relaxation stage a lot more quickly. So that'll be my habit stacking.
Fantastic. And who else? Oh, I think Teresa, you haven't mentioned what you were going to have it stack.
I haven't really figured it out yet. This is a big question for me.
Okay.
I do go for my walk every morning. Well, almost every morning. It was about 8 degrees this morning, so I didn't go. But with a wind chill. But that's for us, Patrice. That's -11. Oh, maybe some others of you are Canadian. Anyway, So, and I'm taking a photograph then, which is a practice to, be calm. So I'll have to think of some other things. Remembering to brush my teeth with a bamboo toothbrush, maybe that will help me.
Okay. Fantastic. So, what I'm going to do is hear about tracking. Tracking is really important when it comes to unlocking what you're doing. So, I want to make sure that when you're actually adding things, that you're just going to focus on consistency to begin with. Your goal is to just show up, right? No matter how small the action is. Don't worry about the results. Once you have that habit that you're going to add in, like Cindy adding in the 10 minutes before bed, you're going to notice that it begins to be a little bit easier. I want you to really, on a daily, consistent basis, celebrate the momentum. And then by the second or third month, usually the third month, the behavior becomes automatic. You don't need to think about it at all. And some things are really easy, like just put the bag in the car so when you go to the grocery store, you have it. And then that micro habit becomes part of your identity. And you fundamentally have changed who you are by just consistent small actions. So, the path forward, micro habits are sustainable. And you can be absolutely sure that you're not going to be perfect, right? And that's okay. You just need to be consistent. But stuff happens, and do not shame, blame, or guilt yourself that something didn't happen. So, I want everyone with this challenge to be able to say, I have made a real difference. And what that difference is to yourself first, right? We've got to nourish ourselves. And in the larger sense, we are replenishing the world because we're changing something, right? All of the challenge have some kind of natural health component. And the other thing that's fantastic is when we do these sorts of things, we are actually replenishing our planet so we can flourish, right? And that's what the Natural Health Collaborative is all about. And what's fantastic is doing it this way is easy, right? We don't have to go out and save the world. I was so excited. I was part of the first Earth Day. I was 10 years old and I was going to go, yay, stop pollution and we're going to save the Earth. All right. I'm not sure that the Earth is in any better shape than it was when I was 10. I'm pretty sure it's worse. So, taking that on, we can be really depressed. Right? We can say, "Oh, the earth is worse. We got forever chemicals and things like that." Before we didn't even know we had them. We have microplastics, right? People are upset about that. But they're ubiquitous, right? Take on something that you can do. Restore yourself. They say put the mask on yourself before you put it on the child on the plane. That's what we got to do for our communities. Have to live healthy if we want to reach out and help anyone else. So I know that probably you have lots of comments, and I'll just let you share what you feel at this point. jump on or I'll call on someone.
I, I love how it's the ease and simplicity. The way this is set up, it was easy steps, and the way you've addressed for your habit stacking and just starting with one and start to build it in, and how when it's simple like that, it just seems so doable. And I really appreciate that and appreciate all the sharing that everybody was in there and the conversations that were had around the different topics. It was a wonderful event. So, and thank you for organizing it, Cindy, and getting it happening.
Okay. Who would like to go next?
I would like to add something as far as the habit stacking and all that. I think it's worth mentioning if no one took it in, the fact that you don't have to do everything. It's picking what you feel like is going to be the easiest thing to integrate into your life at this point. And when that becomes seamless for you, then you can think about adding another one. So it doesn't mean you have to pick from each one of those categories and, bite off. I guess you can say, don't bite off more than you can chew. Set yourself up for success. And if that means just adding one new habit this month, then, consider that to be a win and build from there. So it's all about what you can handle with what your lifestyle is at this point in time. So
Great point. Marisol?
Cindy, I love what you said about self-care as a first step, because I think that, every change, any transformation starts at home. Home meaning you, yourself. You need to function in order to help, to serve, to protect, whatever, right? You need to be optimizing yourself, whatever that means to each person. It could be your health, it could be your emotions, it could be the stress management, it could be the way you sleep, it could be your spiritual practice. So invest time, effort, energy, allocate time to grow in any self area that you need right now as a first step. And everything else will be a consequence of that.
Teresa here. I was going to add being kind and gentle with yourself. So, for example, I didn't go for my walk today, but I did rake some leaves. So I was outside for a good half hour in nature and breathing some clean air. So that's it's not the exercise. Well, it was exercise. It was different exercise, but just be kind to yourself. And if you don't get it done right away, it's okay. If you forget your bag, you can take your stuff to the trunk and put it in, even without a bag, and put it in a bag when you get home, and just go along as best you can.
That's really practical advice. And when it comes right down to it, we need to be practical in these days. So I'm going to just share one last suggestion. And we have a habit tracker that I will make sure that it's in the bottom of this. So what we are going to really show is that just one second. I shared the wrong tab. Okay, so the stack, the new habit I want to keep, the old habit I want to do every day without, the old habit is without thinking anyways. So you have a new formula. After I will. And then your tracker, the simple grid, and then your identity shift, right? I am a person who prioritizes, and I always put prioritize nature, but it can be whatever works for you. And I am excited that we are going to add just over this next year a number of different habits into our lives so that we can be healthier and we can restore our planet at the same time. So, anyone have any last words or things that they want to?
I do.
Okay.
So all this conversation reminds me of the concept of you can't eat an elephant in one bite, right? You have to break things down to make them smaller. And how perfect to think of elephants in the Let's Get Wild challenge. So it's come full circle for me. So yes, habits and elephants are now connected, and it's another way to jog my memory now on habit stacking to think about the elephant, the Let's Get Wild challenge, and what I've got to do. So there you go. It's come, like I said, full circle.
Okay. And I think I'm going to have to change that to because the presentation I gave about unlocking lasting change, I think I'll make that available too. So we'll have not only the challenge itself, but we'll have about habit stacking and we will have a habit tracker. So all of those can go in. And hopefully we'll be able to maybe add the sleep challenge. I don't know. So I know lots of our experts are so creative. And I know that I'm going to play Patrice's 7 steps often because that was a great video.
That was a great video. You did a really good job with that, Patrice.
Well, thanks to Pictory.ai.
There you go.
Yeah, thank you, Cindy.
Mhm.
Yes, and Patrice, I just wanted to commend you on that as well. And I was curious to know if you read that and then put it in, or if you used just how it like there's
That
and
was my voice. That
that
was
was actually your voice. Okay, thank you. Because it
I,
does sound like you, and I thought, ooh, it's really good. So.
yeah, no, you could choose AI voices, but no, it was my voice and it just but it Pictory and I recorded my voice, it put it in slide by slide, perfect timing, and I was like, oh, it's so simple.
You know what? I'm hearing a training. But thank you for sharing.
Yeah, it maybe it goes with Cindy's easy video.
Right,
There you
There you
go.
go. So, does anyone else have anything they want to add to
It's
this
fun.
wonderful day? Yep, Teresa.
I have one more thing. Laughter. See if you can find a way to laugh every day. And I didn't laugh for quite a number of years. And singing. Sometimes I'm finding myself singing when I'm on my walk, which is really, it feels so good. And children do that all the time. They laugh and sing all the time. Getting back to that, I think, is another really important thing that we can do.
And I got to tell you that it's a natural way to get endorphins. And I'm a firm believer in our endorphin painkiller friends.
Yeah.
So I have incorporated that in my life and standard operating procedure, and I stop and do it 12 times a day.
Wow.
See, and
How
it's
can you not
contagious.
laugh at that?
That would actually be a wonderful way to end the recording with everybody laughing.
There you
Yep.
go.
There we
Yep.
are.
Come on, you guys, laugh, laugh.
And I can